Hello everybody, welcome back to the garage. This is a collaboration with other Panther Car Owners, and check out their videos with the links in the description below. This video is going to be about Panther Car's electronic throttle bodies versus conventional throttle bodies. First, we have to talk about what is the throttle body. As you know, a car engine needs four things to function, and that is air, fuel, spark, and compression. The throttle body is part of the intake system that controls the fresh air flowing into the engine. So electronic controlled or driver-by-wire throttle bodies are controlled mainly through the ECU, while the conventional throttle body is controlled by a wire running to the gas pedal. Most Panther cars came with a conventional throttle body before 2005, and then implemented electronic control throttle bodies in 2005, except for the Lincoln Town Car, where some, if not all, came with the electronic throttle body in 2004. So what are the pros and cons of both systems in our Panther cars? Let's start with the conventional. By the way, I came up with these from my own experience. The only experience I have with the conventional throttle body was with a 2003 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. I drove that car on patrol with my own department as a loaner or pool car while my issued car was being worked on. I don't know if it has to do with the tune that Ford was using on 2003 and before, but I could tell you that there was a better throttle response on that '03 compared to my issued '09, which has an electronic throttle body. So let's go over the conventional throttle body cons. I can't really speak of any pros and cons from a conventional throttle body, but I've seen the throttle linkage break before in a Crown Vic, so the first con I could come up with is mechanical issues. As I mentioned, I did see a 2002 Crown Vic Police Interceptor on the job that the throttle linkage broke off and there was no throttle. And second, that I could think is that it's old technology. I feel like conventional throttle body is not as precise as the electronic throttle body. Now, conventional throttle body pros. The first pro I could come up with is that I always thought that the fewer electronics, the better. So simplicity. I think it's a lot easier to work on comparing it to a electronic throttle body. Second is easier to modify for performance. BBK sells performance throttle bodies. You don't have to deal with the possibility of drivability issues, and it's a matter of just taking the stock one off and installing the new one without dealing with an electric motor. The third is that it's cheaper. The only thing you have to worry about is just the throttle position sensor from stop working, but the actual throttle body won't need to be replaced. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of the electronic throttle body. I have more experience with the electronic throttle bodies on Panther cars. I have driven on patrol all years from 2005 to 2011, and as you know, I own a 2010, which is Victorino. So electronic throttle body cons. The first one is that the electronic motor will fail. You will have trouble with the gears on the side. I've seen this all the time at the police garage, especially after extreme use. The second is that the throttle body usually comes as a complete unit. So if the throttle motor fails, you will need to get a whole new complete throttle body. Now Dorman sells the throttle motor assembly, but I wouldn't trust it. I think it will be just a waste of money. The third con is that the electronic throttle body is more expensive overall. I bought a brand new throttle body thinking I was going to need it when I did the supercharger, and it was around $245 after tax at a Ford dealership. And lastly is that they're dangerous. You have to be very careful with dealing with electronic throttle bodies. Don't ever put your fingers inside what is plugged in. Now, the electronic throttle body pros. I feel like the first pro I could think is fuel economy. I say fuel economy because the ECU now controls the cruise control, and better fuel economy can be reached overall with the electronic throttle body. Second is the elimination of mechanical hardware linkages and running the risk of getting the throttle stuck and the cable from breaking. There's also room for performance. BBK sells electronic throttle bodies that will fit on our Panther engines, although some people have experienced drivability issues where the wrench light comes on and the car will go into limp mode. I personally never experienced this issue. I think those problems come from not performing a correct installation. BBK throttle bodies will come with instructions, and there's some steps that need to be taken before installation. Those are the pros and cons between conventional throttle bodies and electronic throttle bodies from my personal experience on Panther cars. Feel free to comment below if you agree or disagree, and don't forget to check out the videos with the links in the description. So guys, until then, I'll see you next time.
Oh my god, I can hear the V8.